Hello, and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. Before we get started with today's show, I just want to give out a few URLs. The first one is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. And also my social media URLs. The first one is https://www.facebook.com/Vivian E. Moore. My Twitter handle is God's Property 46. My Instagram URL is https://instagram.com/God's Property 51. And of course, if you want to reach out to me on my email address, that is vivianemore@icloud.com. And I also have a webpage if you want to view that. That is on http://vivianemore.wix.com/author Vivian E. Moore. All right, well, let's get started with today's show. Today's title is it live or is it Memorex? And the topic is the rise of audiobooks. You know, it comes as no great surprise to me that audiobooks are not only trending, but apparently here to stay. You know, book sales are down, but audiobooks are thriving per CNBC.com due to the rise of ebooks and e-readers. According to the Wall Street Journal, smartphones have propelled the rise of audiobooks. And guess what else? They also help podcasts and podcasters. Also, another interesting article is a published interview from WNYC, and they state that the power of listening, examining the rise of audiobooks. And the interesting feature as to why I mention this is that this interview is recorded. It's they use like an audiobook type of format for just to further prove that audiobooks are in high demand right now. But before I researched any material for today's show, I already knew that what the general consensus would be before I even read what everyone else had to say about it. The truth is, most readers prefer options. The same is with everything in life. Who goes to a restaurant and doesn't expect to find a variety of items listed on the menu? Fast food or fancy establishments, the same thing applies to grocery stores, clothing, movies, music, etc. We crave diversity, whether we understand the purpose or not. This is why today's discussion highlights the topic of audiobooks. Don't tune me out just yet, because I know what I'm talking about. The surge in popularity of the audiobook has seen a rise of about 19.5 cents per unit sales, according to American publishers. This translates to, are you ready for this? $1.77 billion in dollars. Wow. Yes, indeed. There is a reason for this phenomenon, folks, and I'll tell you why. Not everyone has time to actually pick up a book and read during the workday or work week, for that matter. However, they love reading, and intermittent or sporadic reading doesn't work for everyone, and that includes me. I'm an avid reader, and I am employed outside of the home full time. So prior to the evolution of audiobooks, I found myself binge reading every chance I got. As much as I love books and reading them, I hated this method. Not only did I feel rushed, but also it took the enjoyment away from me. A few years back, I discovered audiobooks. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Praise the Lord. Now I have a convenient tool, i.e., a downloadable app to my smartphone, tablet, or computer that allows me to listen with ease. Personally, I love this feature because I can listen on the go, and I do most days. I'm a commuter, so I ride the bus, and it's the perfect backdrop for reading and tuning out the world and tuning in to an audiobook. Just about every news outlet is talking about how this way of reading is taking over and is affecting publishing in general. I've told you about how I love reading and getting free books. Well, most of the books offered are not only multi-formatted, i.e. ebooks, paperbook, and my favorite, audio. But, just switching over from the avid readers to writers for a second, this is especially helpful for independent publishers. Not only can you publish on your own, but now you can also record or hire someone to do the narration for your books. Audiobook Creation Exchange, better known as ACX, and you may not be completely familiar with this, but if you are if you're on Amazon a lot, or if you're a Kindle user, Amazon has a self-publishing package through Kindle Direct Publishing. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see where the ACX is listed. And this is for audio users, for people who want to have their book automated. And because they cater to authors who want to self-publish their own audiobooks. And also the Dayan Institute, which opened back in 2014, they also offer training for audiobook performers. And Authors Republic, owned by audiobooks.com, they launched last November to help self-published audiobook creators to distribute their work. So, there's a lot of avenues out there if this is something that you're interested in. But if you ever consider this option, then I definitely invite you to check them out. I absolutely love this format of reading and, well, listening while being read to. But it helps me to bring the story to life. More so than if I read the actual book. I've listened to hundreds of titles, and what I found is that I'm entertained by the narrators, especially if they are good ones. I know with the steady rise of audiobooks, there remains a skeptical few, mainly because they can't get past, first of all, being read to, and secondly, hearing a male performing a female part or vice versa. My advice to these skittish readers is to get over your hangups, download an audiobook, and enjoy a great story. You are so missing out. Live a little. I promise you'll love it. I realize some people may still want to argue the point that paperback supersedes a recorded book anytime. Well, I disagree. Because when my children were young, they enjoyed being read to. However, they also loved listening to recorded stories as well. I don't know how many of you, if you are an adult, and I would say if you're over the age of 35 or even 40, then you are familiar with Teddy Ruxpin. Teddy Ruxpin was an automated teddy bear whose mouth and eyes moved as he read to your children. And this was very, very popular back in the day. I brought my kids all types of books, and all they had to do was push a button or pull a string to enjoy countless hours of their favorite stories. Not only was I enriching their lives through books, but freeing up time for me to read also. For me, listening to audiobooks is the equivalent of watching a great movie without video. I have a selection of hundreds, but my favorite is the Outlander series. And I know you're saying, here she goes again with the Outlander series. Can't get enough of hearing about that. Well, I definitely can't get enough of talking about it because it's a great batch of books. And if you haven't picked up these books, please do. I mean, this is a wonderful series. And if you are a history lover, then you are definitely going to love these books. But the reason why I mentioned the Outlander series is not so much because of the books themselves, but it's because of the narrator. Davina Porter, she is a very talented actress who performs to perfection. And if you are familiar with the Outlander novels that are available on audiobook, then you are aware of how much of herself she lends to this series and to bringing the books to life. I mean, these books are so deeply seated in the Scottish culture and history, and each part is acted out flawlessly, male and female parts. The narration is so great that no detail of the story is left to chance. I just want to just comment a little bit further about Miss Davina Porter. She is a a British actress, and I call her an actress because when she's reading this book, she's not just reading as you and I would do. She is actually acting out every single character in this book. And I mean, they are so diverse. I mean, the characters have Scottish accents, and she's so good, to where if she's doing the female part, then you fully know that that's a female. If she's doing the male part, then you fully know that that's a male because she can change her voice to imitate any character that's in the story, and I love it. She has every dialect down to a pat, and I'm serious. So, and if you don't believe me, then you need to, at least download a sample and listen to that part of it just to see what I'm talking about because it is great. It is a very, very deeply moving story, and also the series is on it's on Stars. The season 1 and season 2, I think they're still filming season 3, and hopefully that'll be back with us next year. I can hardly wait for that. And also book 9 that's coming out, so I'll just be glad when she's finished with that. But for me, listening to audiobooks, it's like watching a live stage performance in stereo. It's better than reading the story yourself. Now I'm not saying not to buy other book formats, simply because, I don't want you to broaden your horizons, but I do. I want you to broaden your horizons. So you should go out and buy other book formats, not just audiobooks that we're talking about today. But, come on now. When you were in grade school and it was reading time, who didn't love to have the teacher read and act out all the parts of the characters? Raise your hand if you agree. Thank you. Okay, well, audiobooks is like that. And yes, I am trying to sell you on this type of format because I love it and I want you to as well. You might think my enthusiasm is due to a heavily invested interest or stock in the company, but it's not. I'm not invested. I haven't invested any interest, or I don't have any stock in any of these companies. I do this because I love books. I don't have anything to gain by being the personal spokesperson for audiobooks or otherwise. And you can trust me on that because I am speaking the truth. Moreover, it's only that when I really like anything, I want other people to try it and see exactly what I mean. I am a huge proponent of reading by any means necessary. And if you haven't figured this out yet, audiobooks is my way of promoting literacy. I mean, it may be hard to believe that in this day and age, everyone is unable to read. And what I mean by that is some people have learning disabilities, therefore might need a little help in becoming interested in reading anything. For instance, a person who has limited sight ability, this is the perfect reading tool for them. Let me just share this with you. I had a fan ask me who suffered from limited sight disability if my books were available in audiobook format. And they were not, and they still aren't yet. But at the time I hadn't tried them, but I'd heard much about these types of books. And right now I'm in the process of auditioning producers for my two earlier books, Room in the Attic and Love Unrequited. Also, my latest book, If Tomorrow Comes, Requiem, Book One. When it's finally released, it's not out yet, but we're still working on that, but hopefully soon. But anyway, getting back to the point I'm trying to make, which is she and everyone else no longer have to strain their eyes trying to read. Instead, can now listen and enjoy the books they love through narration. Another example is a person who isn't great with reading comprehension. They can read, but they don't fully understand when reading themselves. Audiobooks is another way for them to engage in books by listening. For those who may not be aware, audiobooks might be widely popular, due to smartphones, but they've been around in other formats for a long while. Who remembers audio tape recorders? I know they are obsolete now with all the new technology that has replaced the tapes, and that is coming out daily. I mean, you turn on the television and you see something new. You go on the internet, you see something new. Technology, it changes daily. It really does. But anyway, at one time, audio cassette books were the companions of paperback books. And I know if the books were lengthy in pages, this meant that the number of cassettes would be multiplied as well. Because if you think about it, most books today are, if they're not novellas, are anywhere from 300 to 8, maybe 900 in pages. And the series I was telling you about, Outlander, those books, each book has over 900 pages, and I'm not kidding you. So I have the ebooks, and I also have the audiobooks, and yeah. But can you just imagine if the books were still being recorded on cassette, how many cassette tapes you would have to lug around with you in order to listen to those books? I guess you would probably have to take maybe 3 or 4 with you, and then that includes the audio cassette player. That to me is not very convenient at all. And I know this is probably why many people lost interest in them. Nevertheless, audiobooks of today, they range from a few hours to 45 hours. And I do realize that this is a stretch for most readers, but you have to admit that, if it's an audiobook, if it's downloadable, then you don't have anything to carry around except your device. But if it was still being on cassettes, then that would be a lot more to have to carry around. So the convenience is far better than what it used to be. But anyway, I know that that's a stretch for a lot of readers. But believe me, I know and I sympathize with you. But, I love it. I love the portability of having audiobooks on my devices, to be able to sit down and listen whenever I want to. So that's all I'm trying to do, is trying to get you to buy into what I'm not selling anything, but still what I'm talking about today. I work in finance for a major hospital, and my job is sort of monotonous. And so listening to, audiobooks, they have to keep me from becoming bored. I don't mind the repetitiveness of my daily occupation so much, as long as I'm able to listen to books while I work. It's no different than listening to music for most people. Instead, I like being engaged in a great story while I'm pounding out numbers on that keyboard. Audible.com is a partner of Amazon, and it has so many books available in every genre imaginable. And not only this, but they offer a 30-day free trial for eager readers who can and should not pass up the opportunity, not only to listen for free, but to get maybe one of their favorite audio companion books as well. And Amazon Kindle Unlimited is another way to enjoy reading for only $9.99 a month. And this includes unlimited books, audiobooks, or any on any reading device. Now, this compared to Audible's monthly plan is a better deal money wise, and the amount of books you're able to read as well. So, I mean, it's just up to you. Like I said, audible.com has hundreds, if not thousands, of audiobooks that you can download. And these are just the audiobooks. But the Amazon Kindle Unlimited, you can get either the ebooks, and then a lot of them have the audio companion book as well. And so, as long as that ebook has the audio companion, then it's free. So you can either read the book or you can listen to the book. And if you prefer flipping, backwards and forward, excuse me, from reading to listening, then this is definitely the membership plan for you. And for me, I think it's way better too than the Audible membership, because with them I think it's like $14.99 a month, and you only get to listen to, I don't know if it's one book or two books per month. But I know for a person like me, I read every day, so I probably could finish a book maybe in about 2 to 3 days. So that plan just didn't work for me, because if I've read both books within a week, then that means I've got 3 weeks to go before I can get another book, and that just doesn't work for me. So I mean, they have like extended plans, but of course you got to pay more money in order to get more books, and to me that just does not seem fair. But I mean, you get to keep, once you download these books, actually what you're doing is paying for the audiobooks. They say it's a $14.99 a month membership, but it's like a discounted price for the audiobook, because once you download it, it's yours to keep, So basically that's what it is. But with the Amazon Kindle Unlimited, it's like a library where you check out the books, and you can check out up to 10 books. And you can't get any more than that until you've read those 10 books. But another great part is that the books that you've checked out, you can also lend them once you finish reading them. You can lend them to other people. And, to me, that's great, because it's getting people to read. It's engaging people in reading. And, and also it's bringing more people on board for the Amazon to allow people to read the books that you've checked out. So it's like having an online library, and I love it. And like I said, it's only $9.99 a month, so you can't beat that. That's a good price. So you might want to check it out and see if if that's something that interests you. But anyway, there is just no excuse when it comes to reading, or the ease of not owning at least a few audiobooks. I can honestly say that I am not surprised by its popularity, or how it is steadily growing as the logical choice when it comes to books. We've had this discussion before on an earlier episode, paper versus plastic. And basically, I was talking about the advantages of ebooks over paperback books. Well, audiobooks is even better than that. Even for those who haven't followed technology because they think it's the devil. That's crazy anyway. But still, you have to admit that the portability is hands down the best thing since your mama's sweet potato pie. Okay, just kidding. Nothing is better than that. But, if you're commuting or on a long drive, instead of popping in a CD or listening to satellite radio, how about switching over to your smartphone and allow an audiobook to take you on an amazing journey? Whatever your favorite genre might be, sit back and enjoy being engaged in a book for the duration of your trip. If I haven't sold you, then there's nothing really more I can say except you're missing out. That's all I can say, But still, as a favor to me, please, 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 please take advantage of the memberships, at least one of them anyway. Try out the Kindle membership. I think you'll like that one a whole lot better. Anyway, this is, for writers, start researching and auditioning narrators for your books. Start doing that right now. and trust me, you will be so much better off for utilizing an avenue that is taking the book industry by storm. And you could thank me later when your book sales increase. I'm not telling you to do something that I'm not going to do myself, because as I said, I am right at this moment auditioning producers for my two older books and for my new book, because like I said, these are great books, and all of the books that I've read in paperback or ebook or whatever format, when I listen to these books, when I listen to these actors portraying the characters in my book, like I said, it's like a movie. It's like being able to enjoy a great movie without seeing it, because it's like they're bringing your book to life. It's like when you like Winnie the Pooh, the book that you read as a child, or even Dr. Seuss. You read those books as children, but when you saw those animations on television, it was like, wow, this is what I read, and this is so much better because I'm actually getting to see these characters, not necessarily in real life, but still you're getting able to see, you're being able to see those stories being acted out for you on screen. But in this case, you're getting to listen to them being acted out in the audio version. But, I love audiobooks. And like I said, my kids, they all, when they were growing up, they had, their own version of audiobooks, even though they were inside of toys, but still, they had stories being read to them. They could interact with the stories on those toys. And my grandbabies now, they all have tablets, but these are learning devices for them. They're very educational, and they allow the children to interact more with what's going on those electronic devices, and it engages them more to want to read. It helps them actually to read better, and to really just whet their appetite for learning. And I love that, and like I said, we need more of that. And now we have it, on the adult scale with the audiobooks, because like I said, I really didn't get turned on to audiobooks until a few years ago, and it was when my first book came out, and I had that lady ask me if it was out on in audio format, because she didn't see that well, and it wasn't. But it wasn't because it wasn't in audio form because I didn't know about the audiobooks then. I may have skimmed over it or whatever, not paying much attention to it, but it really wasn't all that. I mean, it wasn't a big thing then, but now it's like it blown up to huge proportions. So of course, yeah, I want to get in on that. But more so, I love being able to download a book and listen to it, because like I said, I do work outside of the home, so this is a convenience for me to be able to read while I'm working, outside of the home. And it's just great. It helps my day to go by faster. It keeps me engaged with some of my favorite authors, being able to read their work. So listen to their work. And I love that. And so I'm trying to pass it on to you. And that was the reason why I wanted to do this show today. Not only to enlighten those who may not have heard of audiobooks, or who just don't utilize that function in those type of books. But like I said, I hope that everyone has had a great weekend, because I mean, now it is officially fall. We're getting the cool temperatures at night, and the cool temperatures throughout the day. I love it. I can't get enough of it. Fall and spring are my two favorite seasons. Trust me, they really are. But anyway, tomorrow is Sunday, and if you don't have a church home, I hope you will go and worship at someone's church. Go to church with a family member or a friend, and and just hear the word, because that's important. With this day and time that we're in, with so much that's going on in this world today, I know a lot of people are upset about the election because, the person that they wanted to be elected wasn't. But, that's just the way it is. And so we just have to deal with the outcome of that. But, like I said, prayer changes things, prayer changes people. So we need to remember that. And instead of getting angry, and saying hurtful things, just pray. That's the best thing that you can do for someone, is to pray. And like I said, I hope that you have had a beautiful weekend. This is one of the first Saturdays that I've had that I didn't have somewhere to go. So I actually had a chance to sleep in today and to enjoy this wonderful weekend. So to hug somebody, tell them that you love them. God bless. Have a wonderful the rest of your weekend. Thank you, and God bless.